Let's talk about usually I have an early section in this podcast where we talk about the early years, but you're kind of already in your early years or still in your early years, but you were raised in Montgomery, Texas, right?
Yes, sir.
So first of all, where is that, and what's it like kind of growing up in that part of the country?
So Montgomery, Texas is about an hour north of Houston, Texas.
Okay.
So I'm not too terribly far from Houston. But where I live at, it really just depends. Like if you drive about 20 minutes down the road, that's where the really, really country people are.
Yeah.
And then, where I'm at, we're kind of like the middle ground. And then if you drive like 20 minutes the other way, that's more city kind
Yeah.
of. There's still country, but not as country. But we're kind of like in the middle area. We live on some lands. Like where we live at, it's very like spacious. It's not like where houses are like right up on each other. But it's a very, very nice area. I've lived here pretty much my whole entire life in this house. I lived in two different houses whenever I was little, but now we're just been in this one for a long time. But yeah, it's definitely where I live at. I feel like people have a certain version of what Texas is. Like a lot of people think that we ride horses to school and we all have like deep, deep country accents, but you find a lot more of that if you go 20 minutes that way.
It's funny that how that works, isn't it? Especially around the cities, because Texas can be very urbanized. There's some very urbanated areas in Texas. Urbanated, is that a word? I don't even know, but it
I
is.
don't know.
It is now. It is now urbanized. Let's go with urbanized. But I think that's interesting that you're kind of living both of those worlds kind of simultaneously where you're at. You get the kind of off the beaten path experience, but at the same time, you can kind of see what people are dealing with on the other side of the coin. Um, you talked about your life experiences or life perspectives of other people. Does that help with your writing? You think being able to be in that environment?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because as I said earlier, whenever you're writing songs, you're hearing about all different people's like point of views and all their different stories. But also just being around older people, you can learn a lot from them, especially because I'm younger. A lot of the older artists that I hang around are just being like playing out in bars. There's typically older people. They love to just tell me stories in general and just give me advice about how to go on with life and just never stop chasing your dreams, stuff like that. And so I've taken a lot of advice that they've taken me and I've applied that to songs or just how I live my life. But also my family, they are very, very big like storytellers about their childhood. And they have some crazy, crazy stories because my grandpa, he was one of the people that would ride his horse to school. Like that's the kind of he was one of those people, and so he has some pretty funny stories. So I get a lot of interesting stuff to put in my songs from all of that too. But I take it from all different places. I'm also, this is like such a nerdy thing, but I'm like a really, really big reader, like book reader,
Yeah.
and I did not used to be that way at all. Like my mom and dad were very worried for me because for the longest time you would have to like force me to read a book. But I found like a really, really good series, and then I got like into reading books. And I feel like just doing that, I read a lot of fictional books, so it just like broadens your imagination.
Mhm.
And also just like with authors writing from all different points of views, it helps you do that in writing songs too. So I take a lot of that and apply it to
Yeah,
write songs.
it deepens your vocabulary too, right? I mean, let's be honest. Are you an only child?
Oh no, I have a sister, a younger
Okay,
sister.
okay. Because I know that, like, I'm an only child. They say that only child, like, only the only childs of a family are usually bookworms. So that's why I asked. Yeah,
Okay. No, I'm the oldest.
yeah. There you go. So I mean, I love the fact that you're reading books, and yeah, that can help with your vernacular and especially with phrasing in songs, right? Like where
Oh,
you're
100%.
supposed to have a certain amount of syllables in a line and a certain way to flow it and all of that. It's just a smart thing to do. Not to
Oh yeah.
mention that the plots in books, especially fictional ones, are going to give you ideas, the
Oh,
stories,
100%.
and then you don't have to tell people where you got it from because like
True.
if it's an obscure book, how are they going to know, right?
I know. Yep.
Um,
Yep.
I love that. So, a lot of times we talk about somebody's childhood as part of the show, but you are living your childhood still right now. You are so busy. I see that you're doing touring, you're writing a lot, your team and yourself, you have new videos coming out. All of this stuff is happening for you. So, how do you make sure, or how do your parents make sure that you still live a childhood while dealing with this music business as well?
I mean, it's definitely a challenge. I used to go to in person school, but this year for my sophomore year of high school, I decided to go online, which I have a love hate relationship with that, but
Yeah,
I have to make sacrifices for things you loved. And in freshman year, I missed a lot of school. And so it was just a sacrifice that I had to make. And so, definitely with doing that, that has made it a lot easier with doing school and making time to do things that I actually get to do, because whenever I was in school, I would be at school until 8 to around 4, and then I would have sports after that. So I wasn't done until around 6. And then we're rushing home, getting ready for a voice lesson, guitar lesson, show, recording, songwriting, podcast, everything. So now it definitely gives me like a lot more time, especially with my school, because it's not like scheduled. Like I can just do it whenever I want. Like I just went on tour to the UK and I took 2 weeks off where I didn't have to do school. Of course, I'm playing catch up now, but
right.
I mean, okay, it's good that I'm able to do that and not like stressing about getting all my work done. And it's not like I get like a 0 in the grade book or I get anything like deducted against me. So that has been really great. But my parents, how they have kind of made sure I still have a childhood is make sure that I'm still like involved in stuff and that I'm like still like reaching out to friends and hanging out with them. So at least every month they we try to have like a Saturday open where I can go hang out with friends and just have fun with them, which just with doing like the summer coming up, I'll be able to do that like way more because everybody will be free. But another thing that I do is I'm actually a lifeguard.
There you go.
Over the summer. Yep, I'm a lifeguard. This is my second year being a lifeguard, so that helps with making friends a lot, and just being able to hang out with people. So that has been really great. So just them pushing me to do that other stuff just besides doing music has been
Yeah.
great.
And yeah, I asked that question because I've talked to a lot of younger artists like yourself over the years of interviewing, and I feel like the sacrifices that you're talking about are usually one of three, right? Or usually it could be all three, even, and that's either educational, social, and recreational, right? Like those are the three things that you're really gonna lose by being an artist. And so it sounds like you have a firm grasp on that. Your parents are doing a great job, so that's good.
Yes.
Love to see that. Um, so let's talk a little bit about musical memories. Your first musical memories. It'd probably be easier for you to remember this because it was not that long ago. Whereas somebody who's 80 would be like, "Golly, really?" Like, what's the first thing you can remember music related?
I mean, as far as I can remember, I've always just gone around the house singing, or it's what I thought was singing. My parents probably did not think the same thing. But um, I would just go around the house singing all the time, and I think my parents wanted it to sound a little bit better. So they asked me if I wanted to start taking voice lessons, and I was like, "Oh heck yes, I want to do that." And so they put me in voice lessons, and I think the first show I did was I think I was probably like about to turn 8, and I was so nervous. There was like probably at least like 70 or 80 people
Wow.
there. That's a lot for
Yeah,
an almost
absolutely.
8-year-old to do, and I'm pretty sure I was singing a Moana song, which is crazy. Um, but yeah, I was so nervous, and it was it's crazy that I still remember that. But yeah, that's probably like the first one that I can remember. I don't think there was anything else before that.